Tell me about the genesis of Happiest Minds, because I think you're trying to, or you have tried to create a company with a difference. It's not like a vanilla services company. It has so much of a thrust on the digital world. Would you say that Happiest Minds, in a sense, is not any other mid-level or mid-size Indian IT services company?
I would say that the reaction of the markets in itself proves what we've always known. And here I would say that every startup needs a differentiator. And for us, it was a very good differentiator to say that we are born digital, born agile, to be able to say that, look, the only three comparable companies for us are three global companies which are 100% digital. All of them are on a journey, the rest of the Indian companies on a journey to increase their digital content. There is another aspect of the positioning which doesn't get noticed as much, and that is the agile part of born digital, born agile. That's also very important, and they typically go hand in hand. So when we say that we are born digital, born agile, 95% of our business is both digital in content and delivered in an agile methodology.
How big is this digital opportunity? I mean, since 100%, nearly 100% of your business is coming from that area, in your eyes, how big is the digital opportunity? Because I was speaking to Roshni Nadar of HCL Tech just last weekend on this very show, and she said something interesting, that the digital opportunity today could be bigger than the Y2K opportunity of his father's generation. Would you concur with that?
I would actually say it's 1,000 times larger. And the reason is that Y2K was a finite opportunity for a finite period. It did help a few companies. I remember HCL managed to enter the real estate vertical, where they probably didn't have much of a presence because of some of their wins there. At Wipro, we were able to enter into healthcare, where we were not present. But look at digital. Digital is throwing out new businesses, new models, new technologies emerging every day. We've had, it all began with the cloud. But today we have augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, drones. Every day there's a new technology which keeps coming out. And that adds to the new nature of solutions you can do. There's another very important thing that it is allowed to enable the digital world, and that is software as a service, which is going to be very important for Indian companies. The distinction between the so-called product world and the services world is disappearing when you deliver software as a service. And we've got many such successes already in India.
Now, given your focus on the digital area, do you think that the kind of growth that you're talking about will enable a facilitator of this business to grow at much higher than the average growth rate for Indian IT service companies? I mean, today, of course, you're growing much faster, but your size is small. But when you achieve size of a certain scale, could you still continue to grow at, say, 25% plus over a multi-year period?
Well, certainly those are targets and goals, and there's no reason why we should not be able to achieve those. And there'll be a couple of reasons for that. One is, of course, the digital world in any case. Even let's assume in a steady state basis, the others reach, say, 70-75%, and we are at 100%. And let's say that that market is flat or even declining. So we've got 100% of our market growing at a much faster rate. And therefore, the weighted average growth should continue to be larger. Also, at our size, when we do acquisitions, they have certainly got a larger multiplier on a relatively smaller base. You know, they're not going to be able to find a company which is, say, 1/3 of their size, whereas we could easily absorb today a company of $50 or $60 million, and that would also add further to the compounded average growth rate. So I don't see a slowdown in, you mentioned 25%. I think that should be achievable very clearly, at least over a decade.
Oh, that's fabulous. And you have mentioned acquisitions a couple of times already in the last 10 minutes. Do you see that as a very, very real route of expansion for you? I mean, the inorganic route?
Sure. And I think I want to emphasize here, though I do mention it, and it is going to be important, but the organic engine is always going to be larger than the inorganic. It's not that we're going to let it substitute. We're never going to go and do an acquisition for scale per se, but for acquiring new capabilities, new technologies, or new markets where we don't have a presence. So it is going to be important, but also within certain reason and certain boundaries.